looking at, I believe, I think we did 4 in the last one. Okay, 5. I believe we're looking at 5 here. Um, that would be this one right here. Okay. 9 plus the square root of negative 36. So at this point, you should be trying to work these out on your own, times 8 plus negative the square root of negative 64. I'm going to go ahead and convert these over into the complex number into its standard form. And so we're going to have the a plus bi. Right, so remember this is the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 36. We could break that up, and so we should have 6i. Okay, so if you followed along in the last problem, right, you shouldn't have any problems understand what I'm talking about here. So this should end up being 8i, right? The square root of 64 is 8, and the square root of, if this was a negative 1 in here, it's just I. So let's go ahead and multiply these out. And so we end up with 9 times 8 is 72. I guess I should write an equal sign here. So we have 9 times 8 is 72. 9 times 8 is 72 again. I guess we could say 72i. 6 times 8 is 48. I, and then 6 times 8 is 48. I squared. Okay, what do we got going on here? Alright, so I squared is negative 1, so that's going to make that negative 1 times 48 is negative 48, so that's going to end up being 72 minus 48 plus, and then we have 72 plus 48. 72 plus 48, 7, let's see, 8, 9, 10, is that 120? Yep. Okay, what happened there? Okay, so we have 120 I. All right. 72 minus 48 is, excuse me, 24. I have allergies this time of the year. It's not fun. So 24 plus 120i. There we go. That was number 5. So let's take a look at number 6. Alright, so you should try to work this out. Okay, what do we got going on here? We haven't done these, I don't guess. 3 minus the square root of negative 16 over 9. Okay, so let's go ahead and convert this numerator into the a plus bi form. And I guess I'll just do that over here. So we've been kind of doing that in our head just a minute ago in the last problem, but I guess I'll go ahead and just work it out here. So remember, the square root of negative 1 is I, the square root of 16 is 4. So this becomes 3 minus 4i. And of course, this is all over 9. Now we can break this up. This is 3 ninths minus 4 ninths I, minus 4 ninths I. And of course, this can be rewritten as 1/3 minus 4 ninths I. Right? Okay. that was number 6, I believe. All right, number 7. 1 minus the square root of, what do we got? Negative 64 over 10. All right, so we'll rewrite this 1 minus the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 64 over 10 is equal to 1 minus 8i over 10. And of course we can rewrite this. We'll just rewrite it over here. So this is 1/10 minus 8/10 I, and we'll want to simplify that down to 1/10 minus 2 goes into 10 4 times, and well, 2 goes into 10 4 times, 2 goes into 8 4 times, and 2 goes into 10. Ooh, what are we doing here? 5 times I. Okay, so we have 1/10 minus 4/5 I. And what's going on here? Okay, let's take a look at another one. That was 7, I believe. So this is 8. We have 3 over 2 minus the square root of negative 64. Okay. Now you notice I've been using perfect squares here just to kind of simplify things so we don't get it too complicated. Now what we'll need to do here is I'll just go ahead and let's go ahead and do the conversion on this. So we'll have to multiply through by the conjugate. Alright, so this is going to be 8, so we're going to have minus 8i. So we'll go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that first. Now we'll go ahead and multiply by the conjugate. 2 plus 8i times 2 plus 8i. Okay. And I guess we should just go ahead and write it over here. So let's go ahead and distribute that 3 across. So we have 6 plus 24i over 2 times 2 is 4. And then remember the inside terms are going to cancel out. So we have negative I times positive I is negative 64i squared. We end up with 6 plus 24i over, okay, so this is going to be negative 1. Negative 1 times negative is positive. So we're going to end up with 4 plus 64, and that's going to be 4 plus 64. Ooh, wait a minute. 4 plus 6, that's 68, yeah. I was thinking 70 for some reason, I don't know why. Let's go ahead and break this up so we can get this in standard form. We have 6 over 68 plus 24 over 68i. And what do we got? So we're going to need to, we want to simplify that down and get that fraction in simplest terms. So that looks like 3 over 24, I believe. 3 over 24 plus, that's supposed to be a 68 there, and 24 divided by 68, of course we know that's going to simplify down because 2 divides both of those evenly. So we have 6 over 17i. Right? 6 over 17i. So that's number 8. And you know what? I'll tell you what we're going to do here. I'm going to go ahead and erase this. Hopefully you got all that. Let's go ahead and erase this. We got one more for this section, it looks like. And so I've been doing these, and I notice you probably don't notice because I glue these videos together at the end, but I've been doing them, trying to do them in 10-minute intervals, and then I just glue them all together into one big one. So let's let you take a break while I'm erasing this stuff. Erasing the virtual whiteboard here, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so this is number 9. So at this point, you should be working these on your own and then comparing answers with what I've got. Alright, so let's go ahead and convert this over, get this into a complex number in standard form. That's going to be the first thing we want to do. So this can be broken up into, here we'll do a little side work over here, be broken up into this guy right here. So the square root of 100 is 10, and of course the square root of -1 is just I. Now what we'll do is go ahead and multiply the denominator by its conjugate. Right, this assures us that we'll get a real number in the denominator. And then we'll do the same thing up here. What we do in the denominator, we have to do in the numerator also. And we go ahead and distribute this 9 across, so we have 9 plus 90i over, right, so the inside terms are going to cancel out when we pull this thing out. So we have 1 times 1 is 1. So that's the reason we're skipping that step. -10 times +10 is -100 I squared. And of course this can be rewritten as 9 plus 90i. Right, we want to get this thing into standard form, and this is going to be -1 times -100 here minus 100. So that gives us a positive 100, so that's 1 plus positive 100 is 101. Right, 101. And now we have 9 over 101 plus 90 over 101 I. And that cannot be broken down anymore. Can't be broken down anymore. Okay. So I think what we're going to be doing next is, what section are we in here? That should have been this last problem right here. So now we are moving right into standard form. I guess something that we've all really kind of done. This down here is very important, and it's what we're kind of building up to, finding solutions of these polynomial equations. Of course, this is just an expression here. An equation is when we have equals to something. And okay, so it looks like that's what we're going to be moving into next.